Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Wednesday, match day for Arsenal, game against Brentford on the cards today at London Colney, behind closed doors, friendly to kind of prepare for the match against Sevilla at the weekend. So 2 more games left of this pre-season for Arsenal. Today's game, and then obviously the more important, more competitive match at the weekend in front of what should be a very excitable, happy Emirates crowd. I'm not going to be there though, so remember, as I've said in previous videos, in the last few days, I'm off on holiday on Saturday. I'm away for 2 weeks, so it's going to be radio silence from me for a fortnight. So if you're wondering over the next couple of weeks why I have not posted any videos, that is why. It's because I'm not here. I'm going to be sitting on a beach, enjoying myself with the family, and very much looking forward to it as well. Annoyingly means I'm going to miss the end of the start of the season, which isn't ideal, I know, but I'll be back. I think my first game this season is going to be Bournemouth. So I miss Palace and then I miss Leicester, but I will be back the week leading up to the Bournemouth game, so that's when you'll start hearing me for again. So apologies if you're missing my videos over the next couple of weeks from Saturday. I'm still here till then, but that's where I'll be. So yeah, I'll talk about that friendly game a little bit in this video, which I want to kind of designate. I want to kind of focus the start of this video on what that game against Crystal Palace, which we're very much fast approaching now. It's kind of looking at what I think the starting 11 is going to be, what Arteta's strongest side is going into that Palace game, barring any injuries or suspensions or anything like that, of course. So I wanted to, I'll talk about that in this video, talk about Brentford, we'll talk a little bit about sort of injury training and things like that as well. I wanted to just quickly say well done to the Lionesses last night, especially the Arsenal contingent. Beth Mead scoring again, 6 goals for her so far in the Euros. Leah Williamson captain, obviously, and yeah, just fantastic performance yesterday. What a win that was. 4-0 in the semi-final against Sweden, all set for the final on Sunday at Wembley against either France or Germany. Very much looking forward, hopefully seeing England lift the cup. So congratulations to the Lionesses, congratulations to the Arsenal girls and everyone else involved in what was such a brilliant night last night for English football, for women's football as a whole. Hopefully we can really continue to grow that sport from here on in. Okay, so Arteta's strongest side. I was thinking about this and I thought, why don't I just talk about it on a video and get your opinions in the comments below in terms of what you think the starting 11 should be for Palace. Now, obviously, injuries are going to come into this. Who's fit? Who's available? And right now, for this, what I'm talking about right now is where everything stands. So I'm going to kind of rule out Tomiyasu and I'm going to kind of rule out Tierney. Now, both of those two are back in training. We saw them yesterday. They're pictured in the training. Doesn't look like Tierney is with the group yet, and I'm just judging this on the pictures. But they are back training outside. So that's a really positive step. Smith Rowe's back training outside as well, which is a really positive step. So they're getting there. Vieira, I think we're just going to rule him out. I think it's going to come too soon for him. So basically, there's a chance obviously Tierney and Tomiyasu might be available for the game, but I'm ruling them out in terms of starters. They haven't had any pre-season. I just can't see any way that Arteta's going to throw them into the starting 11 at Crystal Palace, even if they are technically available. So this is what I'm going to base this one on. And I think the back four is going to be so intriguing. I think the rest of the side kind of picks itself, but the back four is going to be really interesting. What Mikel's going to do, how is he going to line up without Tomiyasu, so without that natural right back. Obviously Cedric is there and available, but I don't think Cedric's going to start at right back against Crystal Palace. I'll be surprised if he does, because I think basically Arteta is going to be looking at Saliba or Ben White. Now, we've seen Ben White play there before. We've seen Saliba play there before. He played there for France, so he can do that job. I don't think it'll be Saliba. I'd be surprised if it's Saliba. I think Ben White's going to start at right back against Crystal Palace. We've seen Arteta already try it in pre-season in the Chelsea game. Is how that's kind of back four in that first half against Chelsea. That's what I'm expecting to see at Selhurst Park, barring any injuries or anything like that or something going wrong. So obviously Aaron Ramsdale's going to go and goal. We'll wait and see what happens with Bernd Leno between now and then, but you know, it's not going to be Bernd Leno in goal at Selhurst Park. It's going to be Aaron Ramsdale and it'll be Matt Turner on the bench. And hopefully Bernd Leno would have got his move by then to Fulham. I've seen Leicester have been linked with him. Lots of people talking about a Leno-Tielemans swap deal, which is an interesting theory. I don't see why they don't try it if there is a possibility of that, but I have no idea if that's something they'd even consider. But I mean, there's a lot further down the line. It's just reports from France saying that Leno might be a target for Schmeichel, for Leicester if Schmeichel leaves. But you know, Arsenal are way down the line with talks with Fulham. Nothing's been agreed yet. They've been haggling over a price for ages now. Whether that gets done before the start of the season, you would think Fulham will want it done, and if there is a chance that they will get it done. So it'll be an interesting couple of weeks for Bernd Leno now, but he's not going to be involved against Crystal Palace. It'll be Aaron Ramsdale in goal for that one. And then I'm seeing Ben White at right back. I'm seeing Saliba and Gabriel as the two centre-backs. What a potently strong sort of partnership that well could be. And then obviously Zinchenko at left back. Like I said, I'm ruling Tierney out of this one. I just don't think he's going to make it in time. So back four, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko. And then midfield, I'm going with this sort of 4-3-3 formation, obviously. I mean, I think right now the midfield kind of picks itself. So obviously let me know what you guys think. But this is what I'm going for. I think it'll be Thomas Partey obviously holding in front of the back four. So you'll have Partey in the number 6 role, and then you'll have Odegaard and Xhaka as the rest of the three. Now, I think ideally, maybe not sort of long term. Granit Xhaka in that role. I think maybe you could play. Once Tierney's back, you could play Zinchenko there. But at the moment, I'm saying Partey, Xhaka, and Odegaard for the starting berth in that game against Crystal Palace. And then the front three, it's going to be Saka on the right. We know that. It's definitely going to be Gabriel Jesus, fingers crossed, no injuries or anything like that between now and then, as a striker. And then Gabriel Martinelli on the left. Smith Rowe is back in training. We saw that yesterday in the pictures. But again, I think, it'll be Martinelli on the left. I'll be very, very surprised if it's not. Vieira, we know at the moment is still battling his way back to fitness. Pepe's obviously been around, but he's not gonna start in that one. So I think the front three picks itself like the midfield does. I think the main thing is just who Arteta's going to play at right back. So he's not got too many issues. I mean, touch wood. I say that, I'm probably going to put the kiss of death on it, but there's not too many issues. He doesn't go into this game. You think about the absolute mess Arsenal were in ahead of Brentford at the start of last season in terms of COVID, injuries, everything. It's like, what is he going to do? What team is he going to put together for that Brentford game? At the moment, touch wood, he doesn't have any of those issues. It's kind of, he's in a really, really good, strong position going into this season, providing, like I said, you don't have a mass crisis that just sort of happens right on the eve of new season. He kind of knows his team. It's just there for him to select, and if some of these injured players can come back and start at least pushing for the squad as well, it puts him in an even stronger position. So it's a nice position to be in. And you kind of look at that game against Chelsea last weekend in the cup, and you look at the sort of state Chelsea were in, and Tuchel admitting afterwards they're a few weeks behind in terms of preparation. I bet there's a lot of managers and a lot of clubs looking at Arsenal quite longingly and with quite a bit of jealousy at the moment in terms of how quickly they got a couple of their new guys in who are going to fit straight into the team, how settled the squad seems to be, how sharp the squad seems to be, certainly from what we've seen in pre-season. And that just bodes well. They'll probably go and get absolutely hammered 3-0 again now at Selhurst Park, and it'll be misery. But they are in a good position, and that is good to see. So that's the 11 that I'm saying right now, sort of looking ahead, looking into the crystal ball 9 days ahead, that I think we'll see line up in Crystal Palace. And you kind of look at the defence, it looks strong. It looks like they can deal with any sort of aerial duels there. We saw Arsenal struggle with that against Crystal Palace last time out. And obviously Tavares had a bit of a nightmare at left back, but you're going to be able to replace him with Zinchenko this time. So Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli. That's my starting 11 for the game against Crystal Palace. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with that? Is there anyone else you'd rather see? Anyone who shouldn't be in that team? Any different sort of formation? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, so Brentford friendly today. This has always kind of been penciled in as a potential friendly date after coming back from the US. Wasn't 100% sure if it was going to happen or not a couple of days ago, but it is. And this is going to be the sort of warm up for the game against Sevilla on Saturday. There's not going to be a game next week. Arsenal left that week clear on purpose in terms of building up to the opener, because there was always a chance they might get to play on the Friday night again. You don't want to play a friendly on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and then suddenly you're playing on the Friday night. So Arsenal were never sort of considering to have a friendly next week. Sevilla was always going to be the last one. This was the week that they thought about squeezing something in behind closed doors, and have done that. Brentford, we've seen them come over to London Colney before for a friendly, and they'll be doing it again. And it'll be interesting to see what Arsenal do with this. Is Arteta really going to use it as a sort of 70 minutes for his starting 11 and then change things up for the final 20, or is he going to do what he's done before in terms of 45 minutes in the first half for 1-11, change it completely and play another 11? Personally, I think you're at the stage of pre-season now where you've got to start really getting proper minutes into your starting 11 and really getting them prepared for that game against Crystal Palace on Friday. So interesting to see what he's going to do. I'd imagine Arsenal will release something. Brentford tend to as well, so we should find out some details at some point about exactly what's gone on in today's friendly. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. And Arsenal will be hoping to continue this really fine run they're in pre-season. Still haven't lost a game, won all of the games so far. The complete polar opposite of the struggles they faced last summer during pre-season when they could barely buy a win. And yeah, they'll be looking to keep that momentum going. And Gabriel Jesus certainly looking to keep the momentum going because he has hit the ground running since he's arrived at Arsenal, and long may that continue. Injury-wise, as I've spoken about earlier on in this video, things are looking very good with a lot of the players returning back from injury to actually take some sort of part in training outside. Tomiyasu, Tierney, Smith Rowe, all with the group yesterday. You could see that in the training pictures that were released. That is good news. Mikel Arteta will be absolutely delighted with that. Still, I imagine, going to be a bit early for them, as I said, to be in contention for the Palace game. You'd think that the next 10 days or so is going to be really built in terms of getting as much fitness into their legs as possible, because they've barely played. I mean, Tierney played, what was it? It was in the game in Germany, wasn't it, when he played the first half an hour and was then withdrawn. That's the only bit of pre-season he's actually played in terms of match time. Tomiyasu hasn't even done that. He's played no minutes. They were with the team over in the US, so they were part of that tour, but they weren't in terms of playing. There was no playing part for them. They were just with the tour doing a little bit of work inside. They weren't even doing work outside really with the group while they were in tour. It was very much inside in their gym and with the fitness people. So they're going to be way behind in terms of pre-season. Smith Rowe as well, who again, he played some minutes over in the game against Germany, didn't he? Against Nuremberg in Germany, but we haven't really seen him since. And so he'll be a fair bit behind as well now. So it'll just be a case of getting those guys strong, getting some game time. Maybe you'd put them in for 20 minutes against Sevilla on Saturday, but even that's probably pushing it. So their season's going to be a little bit delayed, I would suggest, and so Fabio Vieira, who we've just seen absolutely nothing of, which is a shame, because you really, when it's a new signing arrives, you really want to see him play quickly and embed themselves into the team quickly and sort of show everyone what they can do. And the fact he hasn't had a pre-season, that just feels like a real shame for a new signing, and it's going to leave him a little bit behind. Maybe the first batch of fixtures before the first international break this season, he's just going to be playing catch up, and that will basically be his pre-season, and then his season should hopefully start properly after the first international break, when you start going into the Europa League games and you've got the cup games as well, and that's when we'll start to really see Fabio Vieira, because he almost feels like a little bit of a forgotten man at the moment, and that's a shame, because he's, we all want to see him, because he arrived as a bit of a mystery figure, didn't he? But from all accounts, whoever you speak to, he's a really, really talented player. He's going to add an awful lot to this attack once he's settled in, and the fact he hasn't been able to have that adjustment yet just feels like a little bit of a shame, but it won't be too long before we get to see him anyway, and hopefully that is very, very soon. Alright, let me know what you guys think about anything you've heard or agreed with in this video, disagreed with. Always happy to hear your opinions on anything Arsenal. Transfer-wise, there's just not really too much going on at the moment. Like I've said in previous videos, focus very much on trying to get deals done. Nuno Tavares to Atlanta, Bernd Leno to Fulham, those sort of things. We'll wait to see what happens with Lucas Torreira as well, in terms of whether Arsenal can find him a club, which is something they're absolutely trying to do at the moment. And that's a situation that needs to be resolved one way or the other very, very quickly. But certainly Tavares and Leno feel like the ones that are closest in terms of their futures to being resolved, but nothing fully agreed yet. But I'd be surprised if Tavares doesn't end up at Atlanta, and I'd be don't want to go too far in terms of Leno, because there could be some interest. Like I said, these reports, which I haven't had clarified or anything about, potential interest in him from Leicester. If that is the case, maybe that would throw a spanner into the works when it comes to Fulham. But Arsenal and Fulham have been in talks for a fair while about Leno, and hopefully that is something that can be done pretty quickly. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. Do have a very good day wherever you are watching this in the world, and I shall speak to you very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.